Let's talk about a classic business problem, one that's actually a good problem to have, but a problem nonetheless. What happens when your own success starts to feel like you're drowning in paperwork? We're going to follow the journey of a company called Shifty Seasoning and see exactly how they went from a total spreadsheet nightmare to a super streamlined payment machine.
But first, I have a question for you. Think about it for a second. How much time does invoicing really steal from your week? Not just making them, but sending them, tracking them, chasing down payments, all of it. Got a number in your head? Okay, hold on to that.
All right, with that number in mind, let's meet our case study, Shifty Seasoning. Now, these guys are a real business, and up until August 2020, they were facing this exact, totally frustrating challenge, a problem I bet a lot of you know all too well.
And here it is, that classic paradox of growth, right? You're getting more customers, you're making more sales, which is awesome. But on the flip side, it creates this avalanche of back-office work. For Shifty Seasoning, their own success was actually becoming their biggest bottleneck.
So what did that bottleneck actually look like in the real world? Let's take a peek behind the curtain and see the before picture. Welcome to what I'm calling the manual spreadsheet maze.
This quote from Frederick over at Shifty's, well, it says it all, doesn't it? We were using Excel. Look, we all know Excel is an amazing tool for a million things. But for invoicing at scale, oh man, it is a grind. As he says, creating every single invoice one by one, it was just eating up so much time.
And check out how this mess breaks down. It wasn't just the time they spent creating the invoices. It was this whole ecosystem of inefficiency. They couldn't easily track what was paid and what was still out there. That meant they had to make those awkward, hey, just following up on that invoice calls all the time. And here's the real kicker. All of this was directly slowing down their cash flow. Money wasn't coming in as fast as it should have.
So you can see they were kind of stuck in this administrative gridlock. They knew something had to change. And that brings us to the big turning point in their story, the moment they decided to switch to automation.
So what did they do? They brought in a platform called BlueCart. And what it gave them was exactly what you see here. One single, centralized place for everything related to payments. So instead of juggling dozens of different Excel files and email chains, suddenly, boom, one dashboard to rule them all. Okay, now this is where the story gets really, really good. We're not talking about some vague, oh, things felt better improvements. We are talking about real, hard numbers, results they could see almost right away. Let's start with the headline number. Get this. For every single transaction they processed, Shifty Seasonings saved between 15 and 20 minutes of admin time. That is a huge efficiency gain for each and every invoice. And listen, this isn't some made-up marketing number from the software company. This is coming straight from Frederick, the guy running the business. His own estimate is 15 to 20 minutes saved per transaction. That's as real as it gets. Now, just think about that for your own business. 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there. It might not sound like a ton at first, but you start multiplying that by all the invoices you send in a day, then a week. That time just snowballs. It turns from minutes into hours of your life that you get back every single week. And it wasn't just about saving time. Oh no, check out the impact on their cash flow. Just look at the difference here. The old way, payments might trickle in over weeks. The new way, that timeline just collapsed. For any business, getting paid faster is an absolute game changer.
And this quote right here just brings that chart to life, you know? Frederick says customers now pay in the same week, sometimes even the very same day. It's been really nice. And that's because the friction was gone not just for Shifties, but for their customers too. It just made it easy for everybody.
But you know what's interesting? The benefits didn't even stop with saving time and getting paid faster. Once they moved to a dedicated platform, they started discovering all these other unexpected perks for them and their customers.
And that's really the key takeaway here. The whole experience just got better. It was easier for customers to pay them. Both sides could easily look up an order history for reference. Plus, they were now on a platform that was always getting better, with a support team that actually picked up the phone.
And you know how critical this is, right? When you're running a business and you rely on a tool and something goes wrong, you need help and you need it fast. Frederick makes a point to call this out specifically, how much they appreciate that fast, responsive support. That stuff matters. So the story of Shifty Seasoning is fantastic, but what does it mean for you? The real value here is that it makes us look in the mirror and ask some hard questions about how we're doing things. So, is it time for you to make a switch?
If you want to follow their lead, here's a super simple 3-step way to think about it. First, just identify your manual bottlenecks. Where are you bleeding the most time? Second, try to calculate the hidden costs, not just the hours, but the slow cash flow, the frustration. And finally, just start exploring what's out there. See what automated solutions exist to solve that exact problem.
And that really leaves us with this one final powerful question. If you could get back all those hours you're losing to administrative drag, just like Shifty Seasoning did, what would you do at that time? Would you develop a new product? Go out and find more customers? Or maybe, just maybe, get home a little earlier for dinner? What could you build with the time you get back?